First at 9. This is Other Derana 24/7.
In your headlines tonight, President calls stern action against ragging. Dayan Sumanthuran in heated debate over constitution. Is Sri Lanka's dairy industry at a crossroads? And in sports, Sri Lanka loses the third T20 against Aussies but wins the series. Good evening, live across Sri Lanka. This is Other Derana 24/7, Sri Lanka's premier news channel. Welcome to News Tonight on this day, the 22nd of February 2017. I'm Mahesh Johnny and thank you for making us a part of your evening. Now here's a first look at the local stories. President Maithripala Sirisena has directed the Inspector General of Police to take stern action against cruel acts of ragging within universities. Addressing an event to mark the 75th anniversary of Ananda Shastralaya College in Mathugama, the President said that IGP was instructed to implement a joint initiative with university authorities in this regard. What you have come across in the media lately is quite tragic. In the past few decades, we have experienced several incidents related to ragging. Some students committed suicide. Some died and lost their arms and legs. As a government, we strongly condemn these cruel acts of ragging. I have given clear instructions to the IGP to take action against a minority of students who commit these crimes and to pave the way for the majority of students to continue with their studies without disruption. It is the responsibility of the government to protect students of this country, so we cannot allow these acts of barbarism. Central Bank Governor Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy appeared for a second day before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry investigating the alleged central bank bond scam. During the inquiry, attorneys representing perpetual treasuries had requested to be a part of the investigation process, for which approval was granted following seeking approval from the Attorney General. A three-member commission of inquiry appointed by the President is investigating the controversial Treasury bond auction under former Central Bank Governor Arjuna Mahendran in February 2015. The Finance Secretary is to testify before the commission tomorrow. In other local stories, search groups today found 3 bodies suspected to be of the missing from Sunday's boat capsize in the seas of Katukurunda during a religious procession. This brings the death toll from the accident to 15 so far. Earlier, 4 persons, including 2 children and a man and his wife, were reported missing in the incident. We got information that a body was floating in the sea. We joined the Kalathura police and brought the body ashore. It was the body of a child.
It was the body of 7-year-old Gihan Damset that was found by a group of fishermen in Balapiti today. In the meantime, bodies of 24-year-old Dhanushka Dilshan and his wife, 23-year-old Krishna Madhushani, were found near the Berwala lighthouse. St. Lazarus Church, Berwala, held a funeral mass for those who lost their lives in the boat accident during Sunday's boat procession from Berwala to Katukurunda.
These people took the journey to participate in the St. Lazarus festival because they thought more of their spiritual life. Why did you let this calamity happen to these people? Honestly, brothers and sisters, I am unable to think of an answer.
Later, compensation allocated by the Ministry of Social Empowerment and Welfare for families of victims were distributed.
Time now to take a look at business news. Deputy Foreign Minister Dr. Harsha De Silva observes that the country's dairy industry has failed to improve despite significant attention for development over the years. The Deputy Minister was speaking at a forum in Colombo to discuss the status of the local dairy industry.
Although Sri Lanka's agriculture sector employs 30% of the country's workforce, The dairy industry has only been able to meet 30% of the local milk consumption. The Deputy Foreign Minister cites this a serious matter that needs attention.
We produce only about, from what I hear, about 375 million liters of milk. And I was looking at what the forecasts were. In 2005, the forecast for 2015 was about 500 million liters of milk. So we are below that. But the government is expecting this to go up to about 450 million liters next year. Last year was about 1,000 million liters. So if we require 1,000 million liters, we produce 375 million liters, then there is a big gap. So how do we fill that gap? Currently, we import about 80,000 metric tons of milk from New Zealand and other places. We spend about 35 billion rupees in importing milk powder.
Industry experts say the dairy industry should be operated as a commercial venture.
කර්මාන්තයක් වශයෙන් මේක දියුණු වෙනවා නම් වාණිජ මට්ටමේ ගොවි පොළවල් වල දියුණු කිරීමේ අවශ්‍යතාවයක් තියෙනවා.
This means despite the availability of technology, machinery, human resources and capital, the question remains as to what the local industry lacks.
Our slavish attitude. We think that if we need capital, we have to go and get it from outside. If we need technology, without using available technology, we will go for technology. Therefore, what is necessary for this country is more than anything else, psychological change from top to bottom.
Dr. A.T. Aryaratna urged government to be consistent with its policies.
Now I don't look at the television news, I only look at headlines in newspapers. Why? All the rubbish politicians speak, they are sorry, Dr. Hart said, rubbish, I mean there must be a limit to this. People of the same party telling us two things. If they say drink milk, somebody will say ban first the milk powder. There is no scholarly study.
Dr. Harsha De Silva too agreed, adding that import tariffs on dairy products has so far failed to uplift the local industry, but only prove that Sri Lankan consumers were deterred from affordable dairy products.
There is a tariff duty component here, right? I think imported cheese attracts about a 300% duty or 400% duty or something like that. Now, that is not helpful in terms of kids in lower income households consuming cheese. So what is our objective? Do we want our kids to drink more milk and eat more cheese or not? By increasing the tariffs, what are we trying to do? So there are two sides to this coin. When one argues for lower tariffs on imported food items so that our kids can eat more cheese, the government or opposition or someone else may say, why do you want to do that? You're not helping the local industry to produce more cheese, and we'll take the case of cheese and butter.
Therefore, solutions for the Sri Lankan dairy industry to prosper are attainable, but the country's will to pursue remains a question.
The Colombo bourse closed today, trading sessions in opposite direction despite high foreign participation. The broader market index managed to edge up, supported by high net worth and institutional investor participation. However, turnover failed to pick up to the 500 million rupee mark. For more details from the trading floor, here is RM Sivananda from the Colombo Stock Exchange.
The benchmark all-share price index gained 2.2 points to close at 6,129.69, while the S&P Sri Lanka 20 index lost 5.87 points to close at 3,538.85. The turnover was 482.66 million rupees, with 12.78 million shares changing hands in 2,618 trades. The market capitalization at the end of the day was 2,695.68 billion rupees. Top 5 gainers of the day were Adam Capital, Aris Chandra Mills, Adam Investments, Browns Capital and Central Investments and Finance, while the top 5 losers were Ceylon Printers, Amanataka Full Life Insurance, Office Equipments, Lankem Developments and Bedwella Resorts. Today there were 5 crossings and the crossings turnover was 220.64 million rupees. Today's foreign purchases was 307.72 million rupees and the foreign sales was 269.87 million rupees.
The Sri Lankan rupee ended weaker today on imported dollar demand as local traders brought the US currency as a precaution amid concerns of a steep depreciation in the rupee in the absence of the central bank intervention. Rupee forwards were active with 2-week forwards ending at 153 rupees and 40 to 70 cents per dollar after hitting a low of 153 rupees and 65 cents during the day. Now here's a look at how the Sri Lankan rupee traded against other currencies during the day today. Now let's get you back into some local stories. A panel discussion titled Constitution, Reconciliation and You was organised in Colombo. A heated argument took place between parliamentarian M.A. Sumanthiran and former diplomat Dr. Dan Jayathilaka while discussing a new constitution.
Fundamentals of democracy cannot be violated. A minority and a majority cannot be treated as equal collectives in terms of political power. That won't happen. But individual citizens must be treated equally. And that is why I have called for a Bill of Rights and strong anti-discrimination legislation. Now, if you don't want to play that game, then of course the world is a big place. I mean, there are places in which you do have federal units like Tamil Nadu. You have Tamil chief ministers like Malaysia, but not here. And we face the worst that the brethren abroad could throw at us. Suicide bombing tigers for 30 years, 70,000 troops from Big Brother next door, and we are still here. So I don't think we are going to succumb to that kind of threat.
You have been free to insult me, to threaten me, Dr. Jayathilaka did, saying that we are threatening him, and basically saying if you don't want to, threat is this, I'll tell you what the threat is. Basically saying, if you can't accept the reality here, go to Tamil Nadu. He said, yeah, that's what he said, right? That is what he said. I perceive that as a threat, naturally. No, more than once he said that, right? Now we have opened ourselves to this ridicule. I even accepted knowing the personalities who are going to share the stage today and came because we really want to debate, discuss. Even if you continue to threaten, insult, call us names, we'll still discuss it. Why are you fearing a discussion and a debate in the country? Even the question as to whether you need a new constitution or not, the parliament overwhelmingly, unanimously has decided with 51 JO members sitting in parliament that there must be a new constitution. SLFP says no. Never mind what the SLFP says. They can read the resolution. They want the changes in the resolution. After the amendment, the resolution says a new constitution bill to be presented or 2/3 approval and a referendum. What does that mean? So I know, but I'm talking about the resolution passed in parliament. I'm not even talking about the SLFP on the government side. I'm talking about members of the joint opposition sitting in the opposition, right? No, the resolution is for a new constitution. Anyway, I don't have to go on with this.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you're intelligent enough to read the resolution and know what the resolution is.
Okay.
But the point is, please, that is right. So you listen to them and without reading the resolution.
Okay.
But the point that I want to make is that even such an unreasonable position that is being taken, refusing to read the resolution and repeating parrot-like what politicians come and say on stage, we will tolerate and discuss. But you still don't want that?
Welcome back. As protesters and widespread dialogue continue on the South Asian Institute of Medicine, the Government Medical Officers Association decides to engage in trade union action. The association says it will initiate strike action at provincial level, citing government's failure to provide an acceptable solution.
The GMOA said that hospitals in the North Central and Eastern provinces will engage in a token strike from 8 a.m. to 12 noon tomorrow.
These ministers are shamelessly working for the benefit of a private company while misusing their powers. We cannot tolerate this.
The National Movement for Free Education also convened a media briefing today on Saitam.
කාලෝ පොන්සේක මහත්මයා කියන්නේ ඔහු මේ රටේ සම්මානනීය පුරවැසියෙක්.
Dr. Carlo Fonseca says he is a respectable citizen of the country, but his behavior is politicized. If he is unable to consider the future of children's education in the country, I suggest him to resign.
Meanwhile, protests continued against the Mala Bay Private Medical College. Doctors and the staff of Vatupitivala Base Hospital organized a demonstration outside the hospital premises. Medical students of the Ragama Medical Faculty also organized a rally to mark 400 days of their campaign calling for the Saitam to be abolished.
In other local stories, Minister of Education Akila Virajkarivasam says that Sri Lanka must address the lack of technical teachers in order to improve technical education in the country. Minister Akila Virajkarivasam said that this speaking at his ministry during a MOU signing ceremony.
Sri Lanka entered into a MOU with the Korean International Cooperation Agency to establish the National College of Education and Teacher Training Institute in Kuliapitiya.
The attention on teacher development is lagging behind with huge difficulties. There is a sustainable teacher development system initiated, and the people who got teacher appointments also hampered with professional skills in teaching and teacher retaining level in school system also decreased. In rural areas, the situation become worse and students participate in technical stream also hindered by unavailability of teachers. This new NCOE is dedicated to produce teachers for technical education. This teacher training facility is not only limited to provide physical resources. I am happy to say COICA is going to assist us in curriculum development and teacher educator training until the institution can survive with its own. On the other hand, Sri Lanka teachers will get a valuable opportunity to obtain and share the knowledge and skills in technology sector from a foremost developed country like Korea.
We now want to bring you a story where we all at Derana can be proud about another gigantic step of Manusat Derana Nature Force, the 1 million plant project commenced at Royal College Colombo today. The program will be conducted in 128 schools in the Colombo educational zone. Nature Force team of Manusat Derana, together with teachers and students as well as police officers, participated in the event. This program will be held in 128 schools in the Colombo division throughout the next 4 days. On sports tonight, Australia secured a consolation win over Sri Lanka in the third 2020 international at the Adelaide Oval today. In a strong performance with a bat and ball, Michael Klinger and Adam Zampa were the star for the home side. However, Sri Lanka has already clinched the series win by winning the previous two matches.
The New Zealanders are too good for you today.
Sri Lanka won the toss and elected to field. Having an aim to salvage some pride, the Australians were on the defensive. Australian opening pair Aaron Finch and Michael Klinger built up a partnership of 79 for the first wicket. Finch played a brilliant innings of 53 off 32 balls, which included 5 fours and 3 sixes.
That is out of here! Out of here! And 50.
Becoming the highest contributor to Australia, Michael Klinger played a much-required innings by smashing 62 off 43 balls.
He wants two. Oh, they'll get too easy again.
Travis Head's quick 30 off 16 balls led Australia to a competitive total of 187 at the end of the 20 overs. Sri Lankan bowlers Lasith Malinga picked up 2 wickets for 35 runs, while Dasun Shanaka also picked up 2 wickets for 27.
It's a call of 2 from Klinger, and he wants 2, and he comes back for 2.
Chasing 187, Sri Lanka put up a partnership of 41 runs for the first wicket as captain Upul Taranga got dismissed for 14. Opening batsman Dilshan Munavira was in a stable position, scoring 37 runs off 25 balls when he got dismissed by Travis Head. Sri Lanka lost its 5 main players within just 23 runs, which brought the match into a crucial stage, requiring a run rate of more than 12 in the end of 14 overs. Milind Sirivardhana managed to smash 35 of 27 balls, including 1 4 and 2 sixers. Despite his efforts, the dismissal of Sirivardhana meant that Sri Lanka could not pull through the match and lost to the Kangaroos by 41 runs. Adam Zampa was named as the man of the match, while Asela Gunaratne was awarded with the man of the series.
Against the Australians, if all the Sri Lankans could come up, please.
In international news, Malaysian police have named a senior North Korean embassy official they want to question in connection with the killing of Kim Jong-nam. Hoi Kwang-song is one of 3 more North Koreans being sought. One of the others is a Star Airline employee. Police also confirm that Kim Jong-nam, half-brother of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, died after 2 women wiped a toxin on him at the Kuala Lumpur airport.
One of the people wanted for questioning is Hyun Kwang-song, second secretary at the Embassy of North Korea in Malaysia. The police chief said that they had written to the North Korean ambassador to Malaysia asking him to allow police to interview the suspects, which include a state airline worker. He also stated that 4 more suspects had fled from Malaysia to Pyongyang on the day of the attack and requested the assistance of North Korean authorities in tracing them and handing them over to Malaysia to complete investigations. 3 other suspects, including the 2 women who carried out the murder, have already been arrested and detained. Authorities are still waiting for the results of the post-mortem examination of the body of the deceased and are seeking his family members to provide a DNA sample.
Marine Le Pen, presidential candidate from France's far-right Nationalist Party, cancelled the meeting yesterday with Lebanon's Grand Mufti, the most prominent Sunni Muslim cleric in the country, after refusing to wear a headscarf for the meeting. The far-right presidential candidate is on a 2-day tour of Lebanon, where she is quoting Franco-Lebanese votes ahead of the first round of the French elections scheduled for April 23rd. Le Pen told reporters that she was surprised by the requirement, but a spokesman for the Grand Mufti said that Le Pen had been informed of the need to wear a head covering before the meeting. Le Pen has been outspoken in her opposition to the headscarf and has stated that she would ban all religious symbols in public places. In other international stories, human life expectancy at birth has now been projected to break the barrier of 90 years amid an overall increase in longevity by the year 2030. The discovery was made by an analysis conducted by Imperial College in London with the World Health Organization.
New research, many of us are going to be...
The analysis reveals that South Korean women would be the first to achieve the 90 years target. It also reveals that the gap between the life expectancies of men and women would gradually decrease. According to the study, Japan, traditionally famed for its people's longevity, is predicted to slip down world's rankings. The US is also shown to be a poor performer and is doomed for the lowest life expectancy among rich countries. The study assumes countries to progress as they are, so drastic changes such as medical breakthroughs may alter the forecasts. The researchers said that the findings posed big challenges for pensions and care for elderly people.
Weather report coming up next. Stay with us. On to the weather now. The rain condition is expected to enhance again from the 24th of February, particularly in the southern half of the island. Several spells of light showers will occur in the eastern and Ua provinces and in the Hambantota district. Showers or thunder showers will occur at a few places in the western, central and Sabaragamuwa provinces and in the Gaul and Madura districts as well. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and southern provinces during the morning hours. Now here's your city by city forecast. Well, that is a part of your world tonight right here on Other Derana 24/7. For the very latest in international business, sports and weather, you can log on to www.otherderana.lk. Also sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Other Derana. It's good to know that you were watching tonight. I'm Mahesh Johnny. But before we go, we would like to leave you with the visuals of Bao Bao, the 3-year-old giant panda who rose to fame while growing up at the Smithsonian National Zoo in Washington and now on her way to her new home in China. Good night.
Bringing you the news and information 24 hours a day. This is Sri Lanka's premier news channel, Other Derana 24/7.